Good morning, I've no idea, o'clock in the morning, and I am back at War Games Workshop in Milton Keynes, sunny Milton Keynes, for another Bolt Action event run by the Outriders MK. And psych, last time I said that it was the last second edition Bolt Action games that we were going to play. That's not correct, because today we've fit an extra one into the schedule. I'm not sure what happened, there's some scheduling at the shop, and we got an extra day for us. So we get to do one last little send-off for second edition Bolt Action before the new rulebook is coming out in a couple of weeks. Next week, I think? Well, doesn't matter, I'll get it when it's out. And so I've brought my most successful army in second edition, and that is my Americans. I've got a decent chunk of veteran infantry that can push up and take ground, and I have a grand total of 4 armoured vehicles, because we are running a double platoon, so I've got 2 tanks, 2 armoured cars, and we shall see how effective that will be. Unfortunately, I knew immediately that it would not be effective against my first opponent. Japanese infantry, lots of them, lots of veterans, and way outnumbering me. And the fact that they've brought basically no armoured vehicles means that my many anti-tank vehicles are not going to be that effective. Our mission was sectors, but instead of my usual tactic of moving forwards as quickly as possible, where I knew I'd end up strung out, separated and taken apart, I felt that the only way that I could have any kind of success was to castle up in my own deployment and gun stuff down on the way in. This, unfortunately, didn't go well, and I even managed to fail 3 separate order tests to get units into ambush. And the road in the middle brought a lot of their force right up into the middle of mine, and even with some well-placed and well-timed countercharges, ambush orders and straight-up aggressive positioning, nothing really swung anything in my favour for very long. Even my Zuka managed to miss the biggest enemy vehicle, their truck. By the end of the game, they were just all over my starting zone, and I was running out of models. I had only managed to squeeze in a handful of victory points. I did get some, but it was overall a pretty devastating defeat. The second game was way better for me, and this game is the Fog. It's our own custom mission, including a rule that limits the range of weapons randomly throughout the game. Now for us, the Fog didn't directly affect us, as we spent most of the game up each other's noses. However, the Fog did encourage us to move forwards and get up each other's nose in the first place, and so actually that did pretty well set the scene. My little howitzer deployed on this roof. I thought it was risky given how exposed a position it was, and also the Fog might mean they would be out of range for some of their shots, but they managed to knock out an autocannon and a sniper team during the game, so pretty effective. My right corner had most of the vehicle fighting. I thought my M10 would do really well here. Not so much. The left, on the other hand, was a total meat grinder, with so many infantry squads chaotically charging around and getting a lot of very close range shots. I totally blunted his approach in this direction and pushed a whole bunch of my own units into his starting quarter, in a totally dominating position. However, in the last turn of the game, the guns rang out and I lost a lot of my scoring units. My opponent was choosing wisely with their shots. All told, at the end I did end up on a winning score, but way closer than it could have been. The last game saw some Brits trying to nick this statue in the middle. I thought the ground on the right was fairly open, so I sent my vehicles off there and my infantry went up on the left through the buildings. My opponent, in the first turn, parked a truck right in the middle of the table, blocking line of sight to a lot of his force, but I managed to get enough of my stuff around it to foil their plans of having a nice day and strolling away with that statue. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get our usual turn counts and ended up in a position where the objective statue was on my opponent's side, but nowhere near their scoring edge, and so it technically is a draw. And even with so many options left on my side of the board, another turn or 2 would only have really seen me score points for units wiped, and nobody would have got that statue. All told, I
thought I had brought my most effective force, the Americans, but my planning and strategy didn't necessarily work out that way, and my first and third opponents got first and third place in the scoring at the end of the day, and so I had a tough time of things regardless. But my overall placing was somewhere in the middle, and that's often where I place anyway, so a return to 4th. Bolt Action 2nd Edition has been a lot of fun, and I look forwards to the new era of Bolt Action 3rd. That will of course appear on the channel in short order, but for now, I'm ED-SKaR, always will be, and thank you very much for watching.